So we covered both of the abilities of Nia in the last part, those of which being Water Spinjitzu and the Spear ability. Other than that, and the fact that she's the girl ninja, I've officially run out of things to talk about her. Luckily for me, Nia has a special variant that no other ninja has for some reason. This here is the Ceremonial Robes variant. This minifigure showed up in the collectible minifigure series for this film, and so that's probably why she's in the roster. I'm just wondering why she was chosen to be the ninja with the ceremonial robes out of them all. Not that I'm opposed to it, I'm just wondering. I can't imagine this has anything to do with the show at all. I looked up Nia ceremonial robes on Google, and the first Ninjago wiki article is about the types of gi. It's this impossibly long article about ninja clothes, and if I control F, type ceremonial, I find all of the ninja in them, so it must be a thing, but I'm just not bothered enough to read. Of course, there's the classic variant of each ninja, and it's Nia's turn. Notice anything different? Yeah, she's not wearing any ninja clothes, but samurai armor instead. That's because after the original ninja suits, the original 4 Ninja War, that's when, like, this is actually, the classic variant is actually like the second version of the suits they wore. You know, they have that like little crown thing on their head. But of course, Nia wasn't considered one of the main ninjas yet. So you may ask, what was Nia doing this early in the saga of Ninjago? Well, she was trying to be relevant to the story. I mean, in the first season, she was the reason why Kai became a ninja, because she was kidnapped by the skeleton people. But after that, I don't know, make her a secret samurai. That's what the writers were thinking, and that's why she's in this getup. At least she eventually had purpose, right? So you know the guy Crux? We saw him way back in part 2, and he was a Lego Colonel Sanders that occasionally dressed up to look a bit spooky. Well, here's his other half. Yes, to complete the time twins, as it were, we have a RONIX. This is the twin you want to be messing with at all times. Get it? Not only does a RONIX have more abilities than his brother, but he has better abilities, ones that actually do something. First, there's Vine Cut, which we all know and love at this point, even though I can't seem to find footage of it anywhere, including the footage I filmed myself. But also there's the speed ability that a RONIX has. We also haven't seen this ability in a while since Griffin Turner had it. If you may recall, I said that speed ability is super useful and is essential to complete these races in all of the areas. A RONIX is definitely someone you're going to want to be using for the races alone. Okay, we aren't completely done with these random characters from the show, okay? I'm pretty sure this girl, or android, was introduced long after I stopped watching. So to the Ninjago wiki we go. So Pixel stands for Primary Interactive External Assistant Lifeform. First off, whoever created this android doesn't even know how to spell external. So that's unfortunate. Also, Pixel here was Samurai X, a character we saw a while ago on this list. So technically Pixel has 2 variants in this game, which is quite something for a character not in the film. However, their abilities differ, so what's up with that? Pixel has 3 abilities, the first character in this list with more than 2. The first is the swords ability, which we all know and love. The second is hacking, something we have seen before but not recently. In case you forgot, hacking is simply being able to interact with the computer. That's it. Finally, there's a new ability called Ninjoid Scanning. It's not used that much, but honestly, what ability is? I recall this being used only once in the open areas post-game, but I'd be surprised if you didn't use it in the story. Anyway, you may see these floating 1s and 0s, you know, like binary code. Well, Pixel and other characters with Ninjoid Scanning can interact with them, and it would reveal something. General CRYPTOR? CRYPTOR as an encryptor? Did he consciously choose that name for himself, or is he just really lucky that he's a Ninjoid hacker man? This guy has the same exact abilities as Pixel, which is swords, hacking, and Ninjoid scanning. Frankly, General CRYPTOR just looks a lot cooler and moves a lot cooler. So I guess it's it's time for the wiki. Now that I'm out of things to talk about. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm reading. So I guess he was created by some guy named the Overlord. What a creative name, by the way, the Overlord. Anyway, since General CRYPTOR was created by him, I guess the Overlord got to give him a punny name. Also, I guess these robot guys can be banished to the departed realm like the ghost people. CRYPTOR somehow struck himself with the blade and sent himself there. Yeah, it says so in the wiki right here. Guys, I seriously can't make this up. I wish I could, so I could have my own show on Cartoon Network that has been running for like, what, 15 seasons now? Here is the final original ninja not yet covered in this list. ZANE is surprisingly useful in this game, and also has 3 whole abilities on this list. I'm excited to introduce them to you over the next few segments. Like some of the other ninjas, ZANE has 4 variants, and of course the high school variant is the worst. Now, there are 3 abilities, like I said. I'll cover one for each segment after this one, but for now, I'll just talk about ZANE in this film. Now, as I established, I think each ninja besides Lloyd has been reduced to one-dimensional characters for this film, and ZANE's single trait is that he acts like a robot.
ZANE, come on! Your turn, buddy!
Ice mech. Loading. Loading. Loading.
Of course, the next in line for these ninja variants is the unmasked after the high school one. I will say I like Zane's hair in this film. They took like his flat top haircut from the show and buzzed the sides and made it white because ice. Speaking of ice, that's his signature ability. Ice Spinjitzu is of course a thing in this game, and it does something a bit special. I mean, not that special. It's exactly as you'd expect. You can freeze water with it. There are several waterfalls in this game that you can freeze and then parkour run on. Also, one particular puzzle in the unclimbable mountain area that I remember being frustrated by, but probably wasn't that bad. Anyway, but you had to freeze these water spouts to jump on. Another thing to note is that Kai's fire Spinjitzu can melt Zane's ice Spinjitzu. Here's the standard variant for ZANE, and I've got to say, I like Zane's suit out of all the 6 ninjas, mostly due to the fact that it's the most different. I mean, Nia's space gray suit is cool and all, but the rest of the ninjas have pretty much the same suit with different highlights, which is lame. Zane's suit pops out because it's white, because ice. Anyway, on to the next ability of ZANE, which is one we have seen before a few times, the target ability. In the film, Zane's designated weapon is a bow and arrow. In the show, though, his designated weapon was a shuriken. Maybe they thought shurikens were a bit too risky, so they switched it to the blandest ranged weapon of all time. At least give him like a desert eagle or something, spice things up. Come to think of it, all the 4 original ninjas had their designated weapon altered for this film in some capacity. Zane's ranged weapons of shurikens were changed to bow and arrow. Cole's heavy scythe was changed to the hammer. Jay's nunchucks were changed to flare rods, and Kai, he was pretty close. He did have 1 sword, but then it got changed to 2 swords. So the classic variant is always the best when it comes to these ninjas, and Zane's slickness with his is just like the rest. I dig Zane's classic outfit, always have, but hey, it's time to reveal the final ability of ZANE, a new one. But before that, I want to say I'm surprised ZANE doesn't have the hacking ability. I mean, in this game, any robot is assumed to know how to hack. It's just the law. But ZANE can't, and that's fine. Actually, I lied. His final ability isn't new. Actually, we saw it in Pixel a few segments ago. It's Nindroid scanning. I'm not going to go over it. I was just trying to bait and switch you. If you need help understanding it, I guess you can rewind the video. I could use the AdSense. Here we have Pythor, the final, and I mean final Serpentine on the list. Now again, I don't remember the show all too well, but I do remember Pythor being like a complete pain in the ass for all parties, including his snake brethren. Wasn't he the one who was crowned Snake King or something? Like, yeah, he beat out Acidicus, Fanked him, and you know, the other ones. And the same is for this game as well. Pythor has one additional ability along with the 2 abilities the rest of the Serpentine leaders have. So yes, Pythor has a staff that he cranks levers with, and yes, he has a burrow to interact with those snake heads. The new thing Pythor brings to the table is the stealth ability. Yes, that's right, Pythor can make himself invisible. I think it has something to do with camouflage or something. I can't say. I just know that he turns himself invisible a different way than how Ash and Shade do.